Hey up everybody, Magpie Gaming here, I hope you're all doing well. So finally we have preliminary patch notes for patch 0.12. Going to go through them in this video, going to try and cover as many aspects of these patch notes as possible. These notes are huge though, of course, with this being one of the biggest patches ever for the game. So I'm not going to go through every single point of the patch, but I will of course put a link in the description below so that you can go check out the patch notes for yourself. I'm going to cover what I believe are the most important parts of these patch notes. So first of all, the entire project has been moved over to Unity version 2018.4. They've redesigned, optimized and added new first person animations as well. Now I knew these was coming. I think they're new animations for the drinking and using of consumables, meds and things like that. Then we have the hideout, which we all knew was coming. That isn't any kind of surprise. So it says the big feature that includes building and upgrading of various zones in the hideout, each with its bonuses, ability to produce different items, improving the basic stats of the character, off-raid treatment, raid, acceleration of skills, leveling, etc. and the ability to increase the size of your stash if you did not have the EOD version of the game with the maximum stash size. So for those of us that do have EOD, we will have the maximum stash size still, but for those of you that don't, you will be able to make your stash bigger by making improvements to your hideout. So that's a big bonus. You won't have to think about maybe upgrading your game. You will just need to tinker with your hideout a little bit and your stash will eventually start to grow. Off-raid treatment, now the character retains health status after raid. Health, energy and hydration now regenerate when out of the raid. You can use food, water and first aid kits to instantly restore your character's condition when out of raid. After death, the character's health is restored to 30% and begins to regenerate at a rate determined by the various improvements in the hideout. That's a big one. This is something that was rumoured for a while. We didn't really know if we was going to get this with 0.12, but we are. And it's not one that I wholeheartedly agree with. Yes, it adds an element of realism to the game. Yes, it will stop people doing hatchet runs because obviously you're going to have to wait out of raid longer to get back in. But anything that stops you getting straight back into the game, I don't really agree with. You know, we spend long enough already modding weapons and things like that. It takes too much time. You just want to get back into another raid and that's going to slow people down. So I don't wholeheartedly agree with that one, but I like the fact that we've got that kind of realism in the game now, and yeah, we'll see how that one goes. We have weapon presets, the ability to create weapon presets from any parts that are known to your character, the ability to quickly find and purchase missing parts for assembly for the custom preset. This is something that we've looked at before. I think I did a video on it, and basically you'll be able to build up a weapon, you'll be able to save that build, and you'll be able to instantly buy from either the flea market or the traders that you have unlocked at the certain levels needed for the parts. Instantly build that weapon. It'll stop you having to go searching through, stop you having to Google which parts fit on which guns, etc. It's just going to speed up the whole process of being able to get your kit ready and get back into raid. But again, this is with off-raid treatment that's going to slow things down. You know, you're giving us something in weapon presets which allows us to get back in the game quicker, but you're going to slow us down by having off-raid treatment. So, you know, it's kind of yin and yang on that one. We have the new military base location, the Ros Reserve Military Base. This is the largest map in terms of indoor area and exploration potential. It's got new exfiltration mechanics. It's got the stationary 12 by 7mm heavy machine gun. It's got the stationary 30mm automatic grenade launcher, the AGS-30 with PAG-17 sight. New constraints on the location. There's going to be snipers and minefields. I think those are going to be based at some of the extract sites. There's going to be unique loot, and we're also going to have the new scav boss Glukar with his special tactics. We've then got a new trader service, which is tactical clothing. This is available from Ragman. There will be 5 unique sets of lower and upper clothes for USEC and Bear. It will be available under different conditions, i.e. the level of the character, loyalty level with Ragman and money price. And then we've got the new trader, Jaeger. He will be unlocked at the start of the game. Unlocked. He will be locked at the start of the game and you will have to complete a quest to unlock him, and he will have his own branch of quests as well. He will have a range of products with a large number of unique items, and he will also have a minimum margin on the goods price. Going back to the new boss Glukhar, his area will be located on the military base. He believes this territory is his property and he will protect it by taking defensive positions in one of the many fortified locations. He has a 6-man team, each member of his own has his own role. Guards are always close to the boss. Stormtroopers can move forward to attack the enemy at any point. The head watch are the first to notice the enemy and pose a fight on them. The boss has his own will strive to leave protected positions. The boss will strive not to leave protected positions. They will attack from windows and other fortified places. They use advanced tactics of fighting indoors and have a special model of behaviour on more open terrain. They can use stationary weapons. They may attack or retreat to protect the boss and hold their ground as the train approaches. The boss and his team will try to occupy the landing platform. They use all available weapons, often wear heavy body armour and helmets. So I think the train is one of the extract points that you can use on the game. Obviously it sounds like he's protecting that part of the map. It's going to be interesting to see what his actual spawn rate is though, because at the moment bosses don't spawn every time you go into a raid, although I think in the case of Killer on Interchange, he has been 100% for quite a while now as far as I know, but I don't know if Glukhar will be 100%. There's no word on the actual spawn rate for them, so we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Then we have new boss Sturman, I don't know, somebody did tell me how to pronounce his name but I forget, but new boss Sturman maybe. He operates in the area of the sawmill on woods. He has a common funded stash with valuables. He usually keeps the key to himself. He prefers covert tactics, tries to attack from a distance, from cover, outplay the opponent by taking a better environment, lets players get closer in the distance of his effective fire. He has a team of 2 guards. Boss and his guards use long-range weapons. So he's going to be a challenge on woods, and I'm glad that they're putting something like that on woods. You know, woods for me, I wouldn't say it's a dead map, but it's one of those maps where I rarely go unless I have a task that's tied to it. You know, if I have the option of going to any map, woods is usually quite far down the list, to be fair. So I'm glad that they're going to put something on there to, you know, just mix it up and get people going there more. They've added over 160 weapon parts and mods. I'm not going to go through all of those. I'll just put up on screen what we're going to be getting. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of new mods there for the weapons, and it's going to be good to see exactly what they have added. There's going to be new quests for old traders, plus some of the old ones have been reworked. Of course, there was a lot of complaints about some of the quests and the way they'd been changed with 11.7. I believe that some of those changes will have been reversed now. One of the things that I did want to do for the game was to start doing quest tutorials. I didn't bother because I knew there would be changes and it would have just rendered those videos useless. But if these quests look like they're a lot calmer now and there are a lot less complaints, then I will probably start to do quest tutorial videos within the next coming few months. We've got all new graphical additions and fixes to animations. I'm not going to go through all of those, but you can see those on the screen now. They are looking to reduce the amount of RAM consumption that the game uses. There's new explosion effects, we've got new grass, etc, etc. I do know that they want to, you know, tweak Unity 2018 to the point where it's very, very optimized. Straight away, with this patch, it isn't going to be as optimized as we would like, but they now have, you know, Unity 2018 is going to give them the ability to smooth those things out, and I think eventually, over the coming months, the game will get better in terms of the optimization. And speaking of optimizations, we have a list of optimizations. Obviously, as I say, the grass, the animation systems, the spawn of loot on locations, etc. These are all things that would affect the game. Previously you would get stutters, etc, but now hopefully some of those will be fixed out. Again, not going to go into all of these, but you can see them on screen now. And yeah, if you want to read them fully, pause it or check the link in the description to go for the full patch notes. There is AI improvements and fixes. Again, not going to go into those, but you can see them on screen right now. We have improvements of the AI combat behaviour. Again, they've fixed a lot of things that was happening with Scavs and the Raiders. Some of the weird things that they'd started to do, such as basically martyrdom in themselves with grenades when they would die and things like that, which I quite enjoyed. That was a bit of a challenge to get out the way when you shot one of them and he decided to lob a grenade at the same time as you hit him with a bullet. So I think some of those might have been smoothed out a little bit. We've got a massive raft of fixes for the game. Again, I'm not going to go into them because there is just too many, so I'll put them up on screen now very quickly for you, because there is a lot of them. But if you want to check out the full list, then just go to the link in the description. So now we've got a list of the changes that have been made to the game. These are quite long. There's some important ones in there, so not all plate carriers can be worn over all body armor. You're going to have to mix and match on those now. You can no longer put certain containers, weapons, rigs and backpacks in secured containers. Now some of the keys will have a number of uses. As soon as the key resource ends, it will be removed from the inventory. Now I believe that just applies to the marked room key, but it's probably going to move on to other keys as well as we go along. You can now delete the complete conversation in your chats. So that was one thing that I always wanted to get rid of. I had a massive list of chats, you weren't able to delete any of them, which was a bit annoying, but now you can. And of course there are lots and lots of other changes there. Some of them are really good. I agree with quite a lot of them. Again, I think this is a really good patch. It's going to massively change up how we view Escape from Tarkov and how we play it. There are a lot of changes, the out of raid treatment for instance, upgrading your hideout, and I think it's going to take a little while to get used to. But I think Tarkov as we know it right now is no longer going to exist. It's going to change a lot. A lot of these changes are going to affect how quickly we can do tasks. It's going to be interesting to see how quickly some of the bigger streamers managed to get to level 40 this time around. I know that some of them were doing it in 2, maybe 3 days. It's going to be interesting to see how quickly they can do it now with these changes, because I think the vast majority of changes within the game are made to slow down quest progression now. I think it's aimed at pegging people back, and I'm not sure how that'll be received by the community. You know, it's for casual players. And I know that I always bang on about casual players and people must get sick of me mentioning it, but for casual players, it's going to hurt them. It's going to take a long time for those people to progress through the game. And I think some people could just drop the game entirely. You know, we're used to a certain kind of speed within the game. Now it's going to slow right down. And for people that can maybe only put an hour or 2 into the game a day, it's going to take a long time to get up to those higher levels, the higher tier loot. You know, I think it's going to hurt some people and it's going to put them off. But we will wait and see how it goes. When will the patch drop? We do not know. They're saying that it will be soon, but maybe not as soon as we thought. A lot of people had suggested it be this week. I reckon it's going to be sometime next week, if not maybe a bit longer.